So you would probably be, in terms of there being some kind of religious second coming of Christ type of thing, you would probably, I'm guessing you would probably say that we will be at a Christ consciousness as a collective.
Yeah, it's like the Hopi say, we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Right. But there is no Savior that's going to swoop down, whether he be an E.T. or a return visit from good old Jesus.
Well, just think about that for a second. It's been a little bit dangerous thinking about that, don't you think? I mean, how do you really grow? Like, as a parent, if your child keeps getting into a mess and you keep bailing them out, how do they really learn? You're like, no, you got yourself into this, you get yourself out of it. I have full faith and trust in you that you can do it. Yeah,
that's a good point. An excellent point.
And the more we look outside, the more problems we draw. The more we look inside, the more clarity we have.
Yes,
soul archaeology.
Yes, you said something that I wrote down that I really liked. You said that I'm paraphrasing, that all of our battles are being within, and that the world mirrors that chaos. And
that's correct.
Oh, good. And I totally agree with that. That what we are within is projected, quote, out there, unquote. But there is no out there, except our projections.
Well, there's the left brain. Continue, sorry.
Nothing is as it seems.
There's the left brain and the right brain people. There are people who are like, no, it's all logic, it's all the physical, that's all there is. And so we have these constant contradictions going on in our mind, and we're bouncing from one side to the other, our masculine side to our feminine side, and it's very, difficult. It feels like this major war and struggle, and there's just no peace inside. Our mind is just constantly, going on and on and on till we're very overwhelmed and tired, even though we haven't done much throughout that day. And it was really neat. I came across this when I was wondering about, why everything is a mirror and how is it possible everything can be a mirror. And then my guide said, well, if you look at, what is the original mirror but water? Okay, and if you look at a lake and the water is disturbed, what kind of image will you get back of yourself and the world? It will be distorted like a funhouse mirror. That's right, distorted. So, but if that water is clear, then you will have a clear view of the world and yourself as well. And, not most of our body is made up of water as well. So what we're looking out of through our eyes, are we looking out, if our mind is really, busy and disturbed, then the view will be distorted. But if, in order to make peace, you make peace within, and it will be mirror reflected, projected outside, and other people will pick that up very strongly. And all over the world, in Japan, Australia.
Wow. Everywhere.
That's right.
Wow.
Inside the planet, it also projects outside the planet in other worlds. They're very much aware of what we're emanating, because if our body is a microcosm version of the planet, the planet also has chakras and aura as well. That is emanating by the collective of our thoughts and feelings. So they are well aware of what's going on here.
There's some people in the New Age community talk about Earth moving up through the fourth density and then shifting up to the fifth. Is that something that an idea that you work with, or do you have any intuitive feelings about that, or inside knowledge about it? I mean, is Earth
sorry?
Is Earth evolving in that sense? Or is that just what would you say about that?
We're going from the third dimension, which is pretty much physical, like the ice cube, to a fourth dimension, which is very much the etheric, astral dream, to the fifth dimension, which is a collision of dimensions and time and space. It's why people can't measure the calendar after, figure out anything after 2012, because time is not measured the same way as it is here. It completely changes. It's almost like we've been going going off of time by an hourglass, but actually it's a diamond. From the tip to the bottom, it's one, and then expansive in the middle, and then back to one again at the top.
Wow. So, in a sense, we will be able to experience our oneness again. That we, as opposed to being fractured or fragmented divine sparks or souls, we will experience our unity with all that is again.
Correct. See, the only reason we have nightmares is a great opportunity, a gift, to allow yourself to deal with it in the astral, etheric first. Mm-hmm. If you run or fight, it will follow you into the waking life, and now you have to deal with the living nightmare, particularly if a collective of people have been doing this for many, many years who have not been taught about that. Right? But once you're able to understand and master that, then you merge the waking world with the dream world where you can't tell the difference between the two anymore, and then you go back from whence you came back to what you knew when you were a child. When you're born, you know exactly who you are and what you came here to do, and then the conditioned programming sets in, and then you completely forget. But so it's a circle. You go back to that, and so that is the fifth dimension, and all kinds of incredible things go on in that state of being, such as bilocation and traveling to other worlds, understanding the nature of the dimensions, in between dimensions, and so forth.
That sounds so wonderful. I mean, it sounds like I can't wait to experience those things. And it's almost like it's a memory of how things were, and I want to hurry up and get back to the fun stuff again, Mm-hmm. So
a memory from a dream, like a movie you've watched 20 years ago, and some parts are pretty foggy, and other parts are deja vu. Hey, I know this part. Hey.
Interesting.
Oh, yes, I also wanted to say about people worried about the end of the world and just total destruction. If we are light and love, and this is all a hologram, how do you destroy a hologram? You can only be kicked out of the program for a bit. Like you're in a virtual reality program and you have the helmet on your head. All you see is the program. You can feel alone, but if you take off the helmet, you'll see all your guides and all these other people who've already played the game already with you, right? Yeah. But I mean, once you beat a video game, you don't want to go back and play it again. On to the next thing, right?
Right.
So I just find it really funny the things that people say about these times, because they're just they're going off of without fully understanding the nature of our universe.
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if the ancient monuments play any part in our remembering, like the pyramids and some of the ancient stones that are and temples that are around the globe. Do you think that there's any significance to those things, or is it just if there is significance, you'd find it for yourself, and maybe there isn't?
There are definitely significance to them. They're really built on chakra points and sacred points on the planet. Activations, triggers of memory. When the time comes, we'll know exactly how to operate and work with such things as a pyramid and understand why, they're the exact same, kind of pyramids are on the moon as well, with the exact same measurement and coordinates.
Yeah, and Mars.
So, they're there to kind of remind you that even though you're sleeping and you don't remember everything, there are certain things that are holding you and anchoring you to the deeper you, who you really are. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of confirmation. I like the idea of when I wake up and I know that the pyramids are still there and the Sphinx and all that, because it's confirmation. Okay, this is the illusion. I'm aware, and these are the reminders that bring me back to that.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you also about stargates. There are some people who are working with a theory that there will be more and more stargates opening up as as this process accelerates. Is that something that you would know anything about?
Well, stargates. There are things like the Bermuda Triangle. There are certain areas in the world, and I believe there's one in Iraq as well, that are stargates. Not only that, certain people are living stargates. I've met them.